Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube, and there's a couple things here I wanted to kind of put together and show you, just something a few things kind of lining up here. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the summer of 2015. I've made a video about it a while back called The Summer of 666. There are a lot of things lining up that are very interesting this summer, some of them potentially prophetic. And most of these interesting things happening this summer have religious connections or potentially spiritual consequences to. If you're not familiar with my channel or my work, please check out some of my videos, because I'm going to get into a subject right here, which is something I get into quite a bit with my work. That's finding patterns, understanding the language of symbols, investigating the symbolism of the Illuminati, or the people at the top of the pyramid. Like in this case in particular, we're talking, and with the central banks and the Fed Reserve, it doesn't get much more, quote, Illuminati than that. These secret societies at the top of the pyramid essentially run the world through their central banks. So I thought it was interesting when this story came out about the Federal Reserve in New York City, and they're planning on moving to Chicago because they're concerned about, quote, disasters. And as I said before, there's a lot of people who have been talking about September of 2015. Apparently a lot of things may be coming our way. One of those things in particular a lot of people have been seeing are natural disasters. More specifically, earthquakes, tsunami waves. And just to show you here that connection with the, quote, Illuminati and the Federal Reserve banks, you can see it right here. The address for the Federal Reserve Bank in New York City is 33 Liberty Street. Now, those of you who understand numerology and understand the number 33 and how powerful and significant that is to these Masons or these Illuminati or these people at the top of the pyramid, you'll kind of see the wink and the nod they're giving us. It's 33 Liberty Street. You gotta love that. And this is just one example, though, of how they work. This is why oftentimes we have to look for the patterns. We look for the symbols. We try to find confirmations. There's a lot of different things they utilize. Essentially, these. I know that sounds crazy to some of you, but this is what we're up against. They work in the occult, or the hidden before your very eyes. But I do believe we're living in a time where the veil is lifting, and all these secrets are coming out now. I'll show you an example of some more symbolism I found around this situation and what may be coming in September, quite possibly. So in keeping with that we find time and time again with, again, the so-called Illuminati or these high-level Satanists, we find that oftentimes they will hide their plans right before. This image right here, I've covered this in some other videos, and so have a lot of other people out there, and this is from St. John's Cathedral. These are the pillars in front of St. John in New York City. Many people believe they're prophetic. There's a lot of things happening on these pillars. It's very interesting. One of them right here literally shows tsunami waves in New York City. They also represent the Illuminati. They got the Illuminati representing on here. You have the cloaked figure here with the all-seeing eye, right? It's also interesting because right here, one I've covered, like I said before, but it looks like the birth of the Antichrist. And this isn't the only time we've seen that symbolism played out like this, as a baby coming through a birth canal or something entering our system through a birth canal. What's even more interesting is underneath it, you've got this spiral. I've always thought that potentially that spiral has to do with CERN. CERN bringing this in, opening up the pit, if you will, or opening up that dimensional portal. And again, I've covered that in other videos, and so have other people as well. Something interesting, I always thought. But there's more with the tidal waves. It even takes us back to Maroon 5 and Adam Levine. Again, somebody that shows a lot of this Illuminati music videos. It's Maroon 5 is the band. So many of us understand that he is an Illuminati tool. He's somebody that's being used to put a lot of these messages out through him and, again, through their videos, symbolism on their album covers. And speaking of that, this right here is from their song, This Summer's Gonna Hurt Like a MFer. And once again, it shows the, right? But right in there, you can see a little bit of a tracing with the bubbles. It's a shark. It just shows you a good example of kind of the symbolic language that we find through a lot of these artists. Because we know that this summer we've had a record number of shark attacks, right, here in America. And they're still going on right now. Seems like every few days there's another one, right? But he's not the only Illuminati artist that's been putting out this kind of tidal waves or whatever, right? Because right here you've got Jay-Z's music streaming service called Tidal. And if you look up there at the symbol, what's that a symbol for? It seems to be a tidal wave, right? And right there on stage, it's pretty much the Illuminati artist you've ever heard of. So this is very much another Illuminati company. Tidal wave would make sense. It just kind of makes me wonder when you start putting it all together. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the summer of 666, the summer of 2015. As I said, there's a lot of things lining up. I'm not a date setter. I'm not trying to scare you, but we do know that oftentimes they will tell us what they're going to do before they do it. So it's really just a question I'm posing. You know, putting all these things together, is there something, some kind of a quote natural event or natural disaster that they know about? You know, is this one of those instances where the Illuminati are actually showing us their plans before they come? And also, just by exposing these things or talking about these things or putting these things out there, can we somehow stop it? Can we put these... I don't know, but I often wonder about that. I'm not trying to scare you. I simply want to show you some of the connections I've made. I certainly hope that nothing bad is coming from New York City or anywhere else in America. I think it's some really crazy times right now, so who knows? I think it's best just to be prepared on all levels, no matter what, and be ready for whatever may come.